Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a good morning. It's a beautiful day here in Brooksville, Florida. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and bring in our co-hosts. Start off with Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Pop? Paul, how are you, brother?
It's nice out today.
Yeah, it's not bad here in Jersey. It's in the 30s. We're going to get up to the 40s. So,
we're in the 40s, going to get up to the 60s. I'll rub it in a little bit. Next co-host we have on is Mr. Dolphin Winters.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
morning, brother. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Did you work all day yesterday on your birthday?
Yep, I worked all day yesterday, and I'm working all day today. So, hey, look, work hard, play hard, you know.
That's right.
Now we have a special guest joining us. The great pastime football player. You can't do nothing without him. You know, he's one of the best, Mr. O.J. McDuffie.
Yeah. Oh, yay. Oh, yay.
There he is.
Wait a minute, hold up, damn, Paul. Pastime sounds like the guys with no face masks and leather helmets and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? I've been introduced before, man, but damn. What's going on, fella?
That's just one old guy telling. That's just one old guy telling another guy he's old.
Right. Make himself feel good, Johnny. You know, he's just trying to. You know what I mean? That ain't right, man. Speaking of that, hey, Winters, man, you get your AARP card yet, man? You good?
Hey, listen, I'm looking forward to it. Trust me. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to get those things in the mail.
Sure.
Let me tell you about AARP. They don't know everybody's age because they started sending me stuff when I was 26.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's all about your profile pic, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Well, let's start off. I got a question for you, OJ. I don't know much about our new coach we just hired. What do you know about him?
Who we just hired? Shit, I'm done with it, man. Right now, I'm in my off season, man. Who we just hired? Oh, the wide receiver coach.
Yes, the wide receiver coach.
I don't know much about him at all, man. And let me backtrack there, man. I'm upset that Wes Welker is not a part of our organization anymore, bro.
Right.
Me too. Yeah. Now I know Wes is one of the top-notch guys, not only wide receiver, man, but just gentlemen that I know. And that, in my opinion, I thought what was going on with our wide receivers, man. So it's kind of upsetting that that Wes is no longer here. I expect him to be in New England at some point forward, with Mike Vrabel. Unfortunately, man. But you know what? Wide receiver coach, from what I've read, he's had some years in the league and some college years. He's been a wide receiver coach for a long time. And we need somebody in there that can handle that room, man. That room has been, in my opinion, a disaster. It's been that way for a little while now. We've had some guys that have been, not the best teammates in there, not the best guys, in my opinion, at times. But I think that what has to happen in that room is somebody that has, like I had Robert Ford, I had Larry Seipel before that, but I had Robert Ford as my wide receiver coach, and he was a guy that really led us and taught us so much about being wide receivers and about being team players, man. So, that's what it's all about. Our position of wide receiver is all about doing the little things, running all day, blocking, catching, whatever has to happen in order for our team to win is about, that's what the wide receivers are all about. And so if we got a guy that can get these guys to buy in on the fact that it's our job to set the tone, set the pace, block for our running backs, do our job downfield for other wide receivers, then that's what it's all about, man.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of guys, too many guys that were all about themselves and their numbers and all this other stuff. We still have those guys, but we got to get a coach in there to let them know that it's not all about you. As the wide receivers go, because I'm biased a little bit, is how the team goes.
Right.
What's up, Sticky?
What up?
What's up? Yo, what's going on, man?
Try not to freeze.
Hey, the iguanas are falling out of the trees down here, man. So you got to.
It's cold in Florida when the iguanas are falling out the trees.
Hell yeah, and don't mess with them winters, man. Don't bring them in to warm them up, bro.
Oh no!
Right, let them freeze and they'll unthaw themselves and they'll be okay, bro. They'll be all right.
No, we don't have any up here in the Northeast, so we ain't got to worry about that.
Man, I'm so happy about that. Trust me.
I'm still trying to defrost from MetLife, John.
Come on, you were in the 50 club. You got nice and warm.
You big time there, Justin?
Hey, I'm bougie.
Oh, man. Left your peeps out in the cold, bro. You ain't about nothing, man.
No. Actually, we had quite a few of us in there. We got some free bracelets from a guy, and Sticky and.
Oh, you were in there too, Johnny?
Oh yeah, but we were right.
Call him out there, man. You was
Johnny got his for free. I was the fool that paid.
Yeah, we got in for free, and we were right behind our secondary bench with Ramsey and Holland and Cater Coe, who's sitting right in front of us.
Let's just say security didn't like me.
Yeah, well,
what security does, Justin?
Hey, Miami, they love me. I was hot. Hey, OJ, I was hot, boy. I was letting McDaniel hear it. I was pissed.
Yes, you were.
That game, though. You're right.
And then Pam Oliver came over and took a picture, but she's like, "Don't get any of that shit on me."
And that's exactly what she said to him because he had all his makeup on.
I believe it.
Shut up, Marino. Get in.
So, Finn Sticky, what do we got coming up with you? I know you got a special event coming up.
Oh, dude, fan club weekend. Yeah, we're doing. I decided to throw my Sticky with Ricky 2 yacht party again. One last little hurrah. Do it in Miami this year.
One last. Why is this the last one, bro?
This is my last ride. I decided to come back one more year and dress up and, let the young bucks do the stuff.
I hear that.
I understand.
So it'll be a fun event. A lot of people went to the first one. And, private yacht party, fully catered, open bar. Ricky don't do too many Dolphins events. So, it's a special occasion that he's going to fly out here from Cali and get to hang out with Ricky for 4 hours on a boat.
Nice.
That's funny. I was just promoting that last night. I showed somebody that.
So it'll be fun, whatever proceeds we're gonna get, we're gonna pick a charity again. Don't know which one yet, but we got time to pick it out. That's for sure.
Is there a Defrost the Iguanas charity?
There are, Johnny. There's definitely a charity for everything, as you know.
Dude, we got a bunch of rednecks where I live, so those rednecks are grilling them.
Oh
You know what? People
no!
skin them and grill them. They skin them and cook them down here too, man. Don't
Right.
get it twisted.
Oh
I'll stick with my fish.
Right?
yeah, I agree. I'm good.
But other than that, getting ready for the season. Hope hopefully the players come together. I jumped in when OJ was talking. We definitely, this is my perspective. I played D1 hockey, but it's from an outsider starting to feel like coaches need to be a coach and not a homeboy to these guys.
I agreed. I agreed.
When they come out and say they were fine and people still weren't learning. Man, I was taught at the early age, you miss, man, you're getting benched. I don't care how good of a player you are.
Absolutely.
Sticky man, the fines are so minimal to these guys nowadays, bro.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
When we got fined, man, it hurt in the wallet big time. Because
Mhm.
and we were making good money, man, but fine money was like you can't do that right there. Now these guys can write a check at the beginning of the season and say, here, this will cover me for the rest of the year, and they won't even miss it, bro. And it's unfortunate. And a lot of that comes through our CBA. You're not allowed to fine guys so much money, things like that. I think what you said is what's best. You got to have guys sit. But when you have guys sit, you affect the other 52 guys, So especially when it's your best players. Now, who do you sit guys that are 53 on the roster, or do you sit the guys that are 1 through 5 on the roster? And then when you sit the guys that are 1 through 5 on the roster, that hurts the rest of the team. Now, but then you can't have one thing about Jimmy Johnson, and I'm not a big Jimmy Johnson fan, as you guys know.
Mhm.
One thing about Jimmy Johnson, though, he said there's a totem pole. You know what I mean? And where you sit on the totem pole will determine how I treat you. So 1 through 5 is going to get better treatment than 48 to 53 on the roster, and that's how it is. But usually 48 to 53 are the best guys. They don't miss meetings. They're on time. They're early. They stay late. Those are the guys that are hungry and grinding. 1 through 5 are the ones that have made it. Financially, statistically, they're the ones that have made it. So those are the ones you have to make sure that they're the ones leading your locker room the way they need to be led, being in meetings early, leaving, practice late and things like that. Now, that's what Mike has to deal with more than anything, man. If he can you got to have the right guys in the locker room, and I'm not saying we don't, but some of those guys need to change their attitude and the way they're doing things. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Start being leaders, step up, be vocal.
Here's the thing about it, though. Are they all of them should be leaders, right? I guarantee all these guys were leaders. Like everybody that plays for the Dolphins, I bet they were high school captains. I bet the majority of them were college captains. They're like leaders already. Now, how are you gonna lead though? You're gonna lead the right way or the wrong way, And I think that's what sometimes you run into with certain guys. They're not leading the right way. They're not, the guys that you want leading your team. I'd rather have those, like I said, those 48 to 53 lead my teams. I guarantee you they're hungry. They're determined, and hell, they all they want to do is win. Everybody wants to win, but hell, do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Quick shout out to Scotty and Adam Sadowski who joined us in the comments.
Definitely.
You're home, good boy.
If I freeze, it'll come right back on. I just got home.
It's all good. Well, gentlemen, I mean, we got, just not only our things here in Miami, but, sadly, we have to watch, or we choose to watch today, which I will be watching because I'm in the city. We got Philadelphia against Washington, and we got Buffalo against Kansas City, and we have our old defensive coordinator one win away from getting to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Vic is home, man.
Mm-hmm.
Vic is home, and I think a lot of Vic's issues here were some of the things we've already talked about with some of these players.
Right.
Vic is old school. He's an old school guy, man, and he likes that old school mentality. I think that's what they have in Philadelphia. We got a few guys on our staff that are old school, but I think that we bring a different flavor that is so current that I don't know if it's working yet down here. It was fun at the beginning. Offense was incredible. Everything was kind of fun in there. But now that things aren't working well for us, I think that we need somebody that has that old school mentality. And I think Vic found a bunch of guys, and Coach Sirianni, who really is an old school kind of coach, even though he's younger. He that's the kind of locker room and environment that he embraces. But he's also got some guys in there like the Saquons, like the Jalen Hurts, the guys on that defense that are really good leaders, man. I mean, and so when you get that, coaching is just about coaching. It's not managing these guys. And I think that's why Vic has been so successful there. Plus, he hit on 2 rookies in the defense that are vying for defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
That's gold right there. When you've got the base of guys you already have there, you get 2 rookies that are looking at being defensive player rookie of the year, rookie of the year, man. I mean, he hit gold there, man. So good for him. It wasn't a fit for him here, and we're glad that he's happy where he's at.
Right.
And I love Anthony Weaver, so we just keep it moving,
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, I love what Weaver has done for our team, and I really don't hope he goes, but I wouldn't be surprised he gets a head coaching job somewhere as well. It's still in the open. It's still early. You still got games to be played in the Super Bowl, so we don't know if Anthony Weaver will be back next season.
Yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind as well. So
yeah, well, I don't see any Super Bowl teams or championship teams, pretty much losing their head coaches, though, winners,
Yeah.
Right.
Because you get to that point, you should be in good shape. I think Anthony, hopefully, he's out there just getting some interview work in, and then we get him back for at least one more year, man. That'd be outstanding for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, OJ,
100%.
I'm sure you've been brought this up before. In your opinion, obviously you've played at a competitive level your whole life. Do you think, in your opinion, and I'm not going to take this to the bank, but heaven forbid we have another shit season this year. Do you think Capri wearing McDaniels is in the hot seat?
I think everybody's in the hot seat. Every player's in the hot
coach
seat.
in the NFL is in the hot seat.
But not everyone. And Andy Reid's not in the hot seat.
I give up my house, my business for Andy Reid.
I think when your team's not achieving and doing the things they're supposed to be doing, they're all in the hot seat. Yeah, I do feel that way. I do feel like McDaniel. I do feel like Greer. They're all in the hot seat right now because you think about this. We've got a team that underachieved this year. We all know that. Really underachieved this year. And I don't care about injuries. Injuries happen to everybody. You got to find a way
next man up
to make the next man up. So you got to make sure your roster is stacked well enough. But then you get a chance, you get an opportunity right here where we've got draft picks. We got at least 10 draft picks this year. We've got free agency. We got some guys that, our cap is rough. I get that. But you know what? We got guys that, Brandon Shores, we got some guys that are really smart about manipulating that cap, moving money, things like that, to be able to get some guys in there in free agency. So this is a make it or break a year for those guys. When you got that many draft picks, you've got free agency, you've got Miami, it's an opportunity for these guys to go out there and do what our owner, Mr. Stephen Ross, wants them to do. Stephen Ross brought them back right away, but doesn't mean they're here for long. It's the way the league works for players, coaches, GMs, whatever it might be. So, this is a make or break year for both of those guys together, for sure.
Agree.
I think all of us agree on that.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's not even like,
Yeah.
And they know it too. His statement alone said, "This is it. You guys get it done this year." And what's getting it done? That's the next question. Like, winning division is going to be tough. Buffalo is going to be badass for another decade. So we got to figure out a way to, at least split with those guys and fight for that AFC East title. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we have to get in the playoffs and we have to win a game.
That's succeeding.
That works for me.
I mean, when was the last time we won a playoff game? I mean, every playoff game I go to
2001.
last decade, Pittsburgh got mollywopped. We get mollywopped, and
right.
Everybody thought this year Buffalo losing, everybody's going to fall off. Man, that's Josh Allen at the end of the day. As much as I'm a Dolphins fan and I hate the Bills more than Brian Cox hated them, dude, that's Josh Allen. That dude's built to play football. It's everybody. Okay, New England, they're falling off. Man, New England's got a beast quarterback. So where are we going to fall? Are we going to still be at the bottom of the totem pole, or it's like, dude, come on, we got to keep up with these teams. They fall off for a year, and then, dude, they got a great coach coming in my opinion, in Vrabel.
Mhm.
You know, that man in Tennessee, he showed it. Dude, he was getting the best out of Tannehill. And, you know, we all know,
Right.
even though Tannehill sucked here, you look at everybody with Tua, stats. Dude, Ryan Tannehill for 4 years in a row was in the top 6 in the QBR in the NFL. So he
Mhm.
wasn't a schmuck. But dude, we need to start having these guys play because we're gonna continue to be the laughing stock. And like you said, dude, we got talent, but at the end of the day, on paper, that don't mean crap when you're out on the field. You got to play like in New York. Thing that pissed me off the most about that Jets game is, dude, you could see the players on the sideline how their attitude was changing because I've never been in an NFL game where on the Jumbotron they're actually playing full live coverage of an NFL game like they did that week. They
Right.
Yep.
literally in the corner on the Jumbotron had the Chiefs game,
Yeah.
the game going. So it's, you know, like, dude, at the end of the day, yeah, you missed the playoffs, but back to the point, dude, play with some heart. You
Yeah,
know what I
man.
mean? At the
Bro,
end
you
of the day,
get
we
paid to
may miss
play,
the
man.
playoffs, but I don't want to lose to the stinky ass Jets.
Yeah, you get paid to play, man. And the attitude was terrible, man. Not making the playoffs is one thing, man, but laying an egg against the Jets is another thing, bro. Honestly,
Mhm.
you get paid to play out there, and I get it. You know, we put ourselves in the position where we got a scoreboard watch, and we got to watch that game.
Right.
And kudos to the Jets, man, for, you know, they hate us, we hate them. We probably do the same damn thing, man. If they were fighting for their playoff lives in our stadium, I'd pump that game in too, and you know what I
Mhm.
mean, and let them see it, let them agonize. I would let them do it too. I would do it too. And so our pride should set in right there, man.
Yep.
So with that going on, we should be wanting to beat the brakes off the Jets, no matter what. If we were 1-15 at that point, want to beat the brakes off the Jets, man, because they are the
Mhm.
thinking Jets, man. And you know, when guys like you're talking about, Sticky, you know, and you know, I get the fans are watching like, oh well, you know, we're not gonna make the playoffs. But for players to, in my opinion, shut it down, not all of them, a couple of them. We already know it's documented that a couple guys shut it down. You know,
Oh yeah.
that's unacceptable, man. They get paid to play. They get paid to go out there and put on a show. It's unacceptable to go out there and do less than that. It's amazing to me.
Well, we were behind the secondary bench, and when they flashed a score of 14-0, you could just see all their shoulders dropped, their heads dropped. You know, they were like, "Well, there goes the season. We got no chance now."
Well, Johnny, you know, the thing about it is that they should have handled that before they got to that game.
Oh, absolutely. But when
There's
your
no
quarterback,
reason we
Yeah,
should have been in that predicament. No
exactly right. And we
reason,
do it to
dude.
ourselves all the
Like,
time.
in my opinion, the breaking point, and I knew it, dude. I walked out of the stadium in Green Bay like, man, there goes our season.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well,
and it's just, it's stupid. It's stupid mistakes. And to me, that boils down to leadership. You know,
Mhm.
in all sports, leadership starts from the top, and the top is the coach.
well,
You know, and it's not, and it's, yeah, you were taught fundamentals and everything, but to me, it makes me question, okay, in practice, the punt returner, right? How many times in practice is he dropping a kick? Are you making him suffer consequences because of that? And that's what happened in Green Bay. As soon as he had that fumble on that punt, it was like, okay, it's over.
well,
You
let
know, and
me ask you this, Sticky. What consequences would you want for a punt returner that might be dropping a couple punts in, you know, in practice? Because I'm gonna tell you this: if you don't want him back there skittish, you know, that's one of the most important things to
man,
be,
run
you know.
laps, Hamburger Hill, old school, Hamburger Hill. Get up
Right.
and do some Hamburger Hill.
Yeah, well, yeah, you definitely old school, and that's some high school shit right there. I'm gonna tell you
No,
this.
you know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah,
in high school, when you fucked up, you're running.
in
Get
high
that
school,
hill.
in high school, yeah,
You ain't doing that
it
in the
ain't
pro.
happening at the next levels, bro.
And oh, no, but true, no, but I get it. But even in college, D1 hockey, right, dude? If you fuck up, dude, we're doing burpees with skates on, right
Right.
in the middle of
Mm.
practice.
Well, stop
You know,
fucking up and messing up the whole team, Sticky. That's on you, man. I bet some teammates are still looking for your ass, aren't they?
but when I went out and scored 2 goals the next game, I made up for it
Then
because
you
I
were
learned.
good. All right.
You know, like, yeah, you can't treat them like that, but it's just something to me where I look at it and it's like the little mistakes we're doing, you know, like, yeah, Tyreek had his wrist injury all year, but dude, that man dropped more balls than I've ever seen him drop in his career, you know, and it's, does he care? Is he putting in
Well, I'm gonna tell you
100%
why.
effort?
Let me tell you why guys drop a lot of Tua's passes, because Tua's his anticipation is incredible. You know, So if you're not ready when you come out of your routes, ball's on you, you better be ready because now you got to, navigate your route, make the catch, but you also got to worry about maybe somebody might hit you. So, Tua's timing is so incredible. And the same thing, Marino had that incredible time. You come by a linebacker, in the middle of the field, the ball's on you, but you got to be ready, man. Sounds like to me like the preparation. And Tyreek actually made he made the craziest comments to me about not getting enough practice and things like that. Tyreek, coach has been giving you vet days forever. Sometimes you go, you're away from the facility. You make your own time, man. You make your own time to be ready and prep. When I was playing, when I first got to the Dolphins, I used to look on the other field. We had offensive day on Wednesday, defensive day on Thursday, right? So when we're doing defensive day, I was running scout team for for our defense so they can get ready for whoever we're playing. But if you look on the other field, Marino, Fryer, Keith Jackson, Keith Byers, Mark Ingram, they were running routes full speed to get that timing down for what we had to do. You can't walk through with the way we run our offense and then be able to expect it to be on time on game day. So that full speed walk through, I couldn't wait. I called it Club Med over there because they run a few routes, they take a knee, drink some water. I said, I can't wait to get on that other field over there. But that field over there was putting in work when, when we were doing the stuff that the defense needed to see, playing against whoever we're playing, the Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Colts, Patriots, whatever it might have been. We were over there showing that doing that show team, but those guys over there putting in work. If Tua and Tyreek were not on the same page, they needed to take it upon themselves to go out there and put that extra work in. That's what needed to happen, and it didn't seem like it didn't happen. It seemed like you look at some of the games, it's like they didn't know what each other were doing.
Right.
And that's unacceptable, especially late in the season. Absolutely unacceptable that they weren't on the same page. And I'm sure that a lot of that comes from the week leading up to it. So back to what you were saying, Stick, it's like, you want to put things on the coaches, but the players have to take some pride in their work too and what they're doing. They got to get their butts out there and do extra work if there's not a, and there's a certain number of hours they can be out there as well with the coaches. Go out there and put some work in yourselves. You look at, hell, you think that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes don't just go out there and play backyard football times? Just like, if they show this, just turn around. They do this, just go over there. Just find some open space. Kelce hardly runs routes ever, it seems like, But when he does, he's wide open, which is crazy to me. But that's because they got that work they put in together, man. They got this mental telepathy that they have, and that's important. If you don't have that connection with your quarterback, we got how many times you guys look out there and you see 2 or 3 guys in the same area?
Yep.
Too many times.
Way too many.
I know the play wasn't designed that way. There's no way it was designed that way. So what the hell is going on? These guys are not paying attention to meetings, or they're not doing it in a walkthrough. Some guys are busting coverage, and then you bring all these guys to the party. They've got to figure all that out. That's what's big for those guys.
And there's times you see they break the huddle and you can see a certain receiver just drop their shoulders or walk to where they're going. The play's not going to them. Well,
they go to the wrong side too, Johnny. Sometimes they go to the wrong side. They got to come back over here. It's like, and I don't put that on Wes. I don't put that on Mike. I put that on the player not paying attention to detail, man. It's a lot. It's a detail-oriented offense. If you don't pay attention to detail, you're going to mess up for everybody. Next thing you know, we're up against the clock. We got shifts and motions. Now we got 5 seconds, 4 seconds, on the play clock. And now we're struggling to get the play off. Now everybody's rushed. You can't run it effectively that way.
Yep. Exactly. And when you see a receiver drop their shoulders and the play's not going to him, and as a fan, the defense sees that.
Absolutely.
That was important for me right there, man. Run or pass, man. I want the same stance, and I got the same fire off no matter what. You'll never know if it's a run or pass for me as a wide receiver. But when you see a guy jog out there or his stance is not sturdy, you can tell stance. Look at a wide receiver stance today and see how their stance looks. You'll know if it's run or pass. And you'll know if it's a pass, you know if they're primary or if they're the back end of it, That's the one thing you have to disguise all the time. Every time I was out there with a DB, I want to let him know that, look, this play right here, it's going to be rough no matter what it is. It could be a run the other way. But I'm going to make him think that it's a run my way or a pass my way. Either way, and guys have to do that all the time. And sometimes dudes don't do that. They take plays off. And that's not just us. I mean, that's the league in general. You know, I see guys come out of games. You can't come out of games, man, especially big games. You can never, as a wide receiver, come out on third down, man. You cannot come out of that game on third down if you're top receivers. And I see that way too often.
On a little bit of a different note, OJ, how'd your team do on the wiffle?
We lost in the semifinals, man. Lost in the semifinals. We we won it last year. We've been in semifinals or finals. Last 4 years we've been in semifinals twice, and we won it twice. So, we got a solid squad. We'll be back next year. We should have won this year, man. We just had some untimely. We gave a home run in the semifinal, which is hard to do.
Who was pitching, OJ? Who was pitching?
I'm not gonna put my pitcher on blast, man. I don't do that to my team, bro. We all gave up the home run, Sticky. We all gave it up. You know what I mean?
You never do if you don't pitch.
What about the guys at the home run fence? Maybe they should have robbed it. You know what I mean? It happened.
Hey, question though: when's your foundation? I've been razzing you about this for years, OJ. I suck at bowling, so when are y'all going to do a golf event?
We did golf before bowling. You remember that, man?
I
We did
remember
golf
that,
before
yeah,
bowling. I'm not doing another golf event, bro. It's logistically it's a mess.
Oh,
it's
putting together a golf
that.
scramble is a pain.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. What I like about the bowling event though, Sticky, is that you know how golf tournaments are. If you get a guy that's playing, he's with that group the whole time and nobody else. You don't really get to hang out with anybody else. With
True.
bowling, all my celebrities, Jasons and Dan Marinos and Bernie Kosar, they're walking around hanging out with everybody. So everybody gets to hang out with everybody. And you've got a controlled environment. You can bring your family. Most of the time in these golf events, it's just the guys or maybe a woman's group and the family's at home, the kids are at home. I like for people to bring their family out for it, and get a lane, and it's a family time thing with the guys. So, bro, you gotta when are you gonna do a bowling event?
Can I get bumpers?
Of course, just don't do it by me because I will be on the microphone. I'll be on a hot mic, letting everybody know about it.
I can't bowl no 300s. I'm lucky to break 100.
I hear you, man. I went bowling the other day. I've got a torn ACL right now. I went bowling the other day, man. I paid for days afterwards, bro.
That from screaming and jumping up and down, throwing crap at the TV for Penn State.
Is it the plant? If it's the plant, that's what's going to give you a problem.
See, Sticky, I didn't have to watch Penn State on TV, bro. I went to all the games, man. So watch yourself, dog.
Hey, the moment we get rid of our head coach out in LA, we'll be fine.
Right? You think?
Man, I didn't like him when he came in.
Okay. All right. Well, we're looking forward to our trip out there next year, right? We're going to SC next year, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to. So I'm going out there we're going to go for the Penn State game.
Okay.
And then Sean and I have been talking. I'm going to go up to South Bend.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a lot of trips this year for college, but football, NFL, dude. I'm the only one I'm not 100% sure on this year is Spain.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably a bunch of people that aren't 100% on Spain. That was gonna cost a little bit, huh?
The single Sticky before I was married, 100% would have gone.
Right. Well, I'm excited for that. Of course, it takes one of our home games away. But you know what, man? Now they're up to 7. I think that's probably why they went to 17, so they could actually send some team away for one of those games. Just in case. And so you still have 8 home games.
Yeah.
I look at our schedule, man. Our schedule, it sets up like it always does, bro. It really does. I mean, we've got to find a way to get over the hump. It's so crazy that we're watching the championship games today, because I remember when the Commanders came down here and we worked, those joint practices with them, and I saw Jaden Daniels. Like, this kid is special. And so we got to find a way to get some more special guys in that locker. We got some special guys, a few of them. You got to have a bunch of them, man. That's just the nature of the beast right now, bro. It really is, man. You got to find some diamonds in the rough. And that's why we talked about earlier about this draft. We've got to find some Zach Thomases and some Jason Taylors in this draft. Not necessarily Hall of Famers, but solid players in this draft in those later rounds. And that's important. You're not always going to hit on your first, second round guys. But if you do, that's amazing. But if you don't, you got to hit on third, fourth, all the way down to seventh. Even some undrafted free agents we got to hit on, man. That's just part of their job, man. So, that's what's key right now. That's all we can really hope for. Having our draft picks back is huge because we've given so many away because of certain situations, as we all know, from trades to boats to whatever it happened. We lost some picks, so now we've got all our picks. Now let's go out there and make the most of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last couple of years we've actually hit one or two undrafted free agents each year, so. Right. You got to keep that going. The guys that are doing the scouting and seeing these kids and inviting them in, they're doing well with that. Yeah, you invite 20, 25 of them. If you can hit on one or two, you're doing good.
Right. Johnny O, man, that's the nature of the beast, man. You've got to hit on some of those guys. You have to hit on some of those guys, and you never know if you're going to hit on them. First thing, you got to start with character. Get some character guys, man, and they play ball at a high level somewhere, or even just play ball at a good school. That'll change the culture in your locker room. The culture has got to be the most important thing. And you never want coaches in the locker room. Honestly, we had a couple. Shula never came in the locker room. Jimmy Johnson used to walk through it, but he just wanted to let them know that he was present. For the most part, you have to manage your own locker room. You got to have the right guys managing that locker room, man. That's the bottom line. And when you get in there, you're so humble as a young guy. But all these guys were leaders at some point, and sometimes you got to step up and say, "Look, this isn't the way things are supposed to be done. This ain't." I almost fought 3 times my rookie year. You know what I mean? That's because I was a knucklehead rookie, though. It wasn't about anything else. But at some point, though. I'm the one that had the voice.
I remember the story where you got in trouble because you didn't remember your playbook, and Don Schuler's you got in the doghouse from Don Schuler.
Yeah, you want to bring that up, huh, Shig? I see how you are. It's so funny you say that. We were just talking about that yesterday. I was talking to Stu Weinstein, our former head of security for the Dolphins, and he was talking about that. My first time in the huddle with Marino and the starters. This is my first training camp. I'm not training camp. It was a mini camp. I just really got the playbook the day before, right? And Marino calls this play, and I get out there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know this play. And my only first time out there, Shula looks at me and it's like, what do you mean you don't know the play? What do you mean you don't know the play? Everybody, and then he looks at everybody. I got everybody in trouble. If it's in the playbook, you're responsible for it. I'm like, damn. So that night, man, I was knee deep in that playbook because we didn't put it in installs yet. But hell, after that point, there wasn't a play or position I didn't know. But Shula got my ass, boy. It was enlightening because I just left Joe Paterno. He got my ass as a freshman, but never after that. I was good after that. Now I start all over again with Shula getting my ass, man. So it worked out good, though. We managed to get a few years together in there.
Speaking of Shula, man, what you were saying back to drafting well, the Rams, his grandson plays on the Rams, and the Rams hadn't had a first draft pick in forever. All they had was late picks, and they've been hitting on their late picks. That's what we need to be doing, just like they do. Puka Nacua, a bunch of players that they drafted that were late draft picks that been doing really well in this league.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. With a 7-round draft, it's really condensed to some of the best players in college football, and you can find these diamonds anywhere, man. You never know where they're gonna be playing. They could be playing at Troy, they could be playing at North Dakota State, they could be playing anywhere. You just have to find them, man. And we have enough people out there in the field to go out there and find these guys. Everybody wants to look at Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State, and Texas, and all those places. But man, the diamonds in the rough are Zach Thomas from a Texas Tech that were a good team, but not very great. Jason Taylor from Akron, those are, you got to go find those guys. Jimmy Johnson, if nothing else, he was great at finding talent, bro. Look how he revamped that whole Dallas team with all the talent. And those guys, most of those guys weren't major school guys. I mean, there were a lot of guys with major schools, but That's the whole key, man. But you got to get the guys with the right attitude, and you got to get the right fits. You can't get somebody that runs, single wing offense to try to come and run Mike McDaniel's offense. You got to get some guys that are used to being, all over the place in different positions. As a wide receiver, that was one thing that I learned all 5 positions, because I never want to come off the field. I never want to come off the field. So guys have to be able to play all these different positions and not be pigeonholed. So they have to hit in some of these undrafted free agents, these draft picks that we have. And, and honestly, rookie contracts are the best thing that can happen for a team. You got a guy that's on a rookie contract. You can also, allocate money somewhere else and, have these guys as long as you want to develop them.
How come it seems like we do get some of these good guys, we never re-sign them after the rookie contract? We're letting them go.
Yeah. And I think that has to change, Johnny O, man. It really does. I think that, once we develop guys, and we talk about this all the time. My partner, Big Seth, on the fish tank, he's like, yo, we develop these guys and then we don't re-sign them. What's the point in getting them and then letting somebody else, and everybody else seems to reap the rewards from our guys that we develop, So we have to keep our own. We really do have to keep our own, man. And and when it's time to re-up, if they outplay their contract or if they deserve a better deal, we got to give it to them, man. And that's the thing about it. People might not want to come to Miami because we don't take care of our own. But
right.
We've taken care of Waddle, we've taken care of Tua. We've taken and this, even talking about those contracts. We really didn't have to do all that when we did it. We didn't have to do Tyreek. We didn't have to do Ramsey. We got to start doing things really by the books. Wait for guys to be up for their contracts instead of taking care of them before we have to, and then make decisions on things like that.
But don't you think that has a lot to do with you can look at the game where it was when you played and where it is now. I think it's become more and more and more of a business. And I think it's just how the players expect it. Like you see it more often now than you did back when you played. Oh, this star receiver is going to sit out if he doesn't get his contract. Now you're seeing it pretty much if a player's 1 year left on his contract, they're probably going to hold out until they get a new contract. So it's kind of
let them hold
where
out.
The game's gone now, which sucks.
It's sticky. Let them hold out and find their ass every day they're out. You know what I mean? Right. You're in the contract. You're in the contract, man. You gotta stick to your guns, man, because you're setting a bad example for everybody else. If you let this dude do it, then somebody else is going to want to do it.
You can't go out there and let's use some players as an example. We give X player all this money. Okay, you don't perform. You don't give that. You don't give it back because you didn't live up to the expectations.
No, you do not.
You know what I mean? Like.
But what you do though, Sticky, is that you let them go. Because honestly, if I got a 5-year deal with the Dolphins, that's not 5 years guaranteed. That's five 1-year deals.
Exactly. Because you can be gone at any point.
Any point. So only money you got is the money they guaranteed you.
Yep. And I think we're gonna see it, in my opinion. Let's use Holland for an example. Right? Dude, he's gonna want that bag. To sign this year. And in my opinion, just my opinion, how he played this year, I don't think he lives up to the hype of what he's going to want it or what he expects he should get. So it's just where it is now. These players, and I'm not in the league, but I played competitive. I think some of them gotten a little too soft in aspects of the contracts, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's all across the league. I want this, but I'm not doing this. Like you said, dude, you're on a 4-year deal. Why are you getting re-signed with 1 or 2 years left on the contract?
Correct. Yeah. It's amazing that they actually do that to make these guys happy. It's an ego thing, in my opinion.
But you know what? What's funny is outside of Tyreek Hill, the people that did leave got paid the highest at their positions. But Waddle, Jalen, Waddle, Tua, and Jalen Ramsey weren't the highest at their positions. It wasn't a discount, but it wasn't a premium like they did with Hunt and with Wilkins. I think Chris Greer has this number And if you don't want to meet that number, then you can walk.
Well, it's not. It's really not about being the highest paid when it comes to this. So all these guys really want is new money. You know, they want more in guarantees than they want in salary, and that's what really happens. They want more guaranteed. The G is all that matters in NFL contracts. It's not like baseball where it's 100% guaranteed. It's not like basketball where it's 100% guaranteed. The G, after whatever it says, whatever the number is, and that G is what's the most important to all these players. So if you can guarantee me more money, I'll take less on my base because, like I talked about, the base you can be cut anytime. But you guarantee me a certain number, then that's all I care about. Restructure my deal and give me more guaranteed money. So it's not like they have to be the highest paid guys. All they want is more guaranteed money. That's the key to everything.
And going back to what we were talking about, as far as signing guys on contracts, if they're in the rookie contract and they've had 3 good years, I don't have a problem with trying to extend them at a cheaper price, because once they hit that 4th or 5th year, it's going way up. Get them after 3. That's what I wanted to see happen with Wilkins. Is after his 3rd year, he got better and better every year. After that 3rd year, man, offer him something that it's going to be discounted for the team, but that he's going to have a hard time saying no to.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, you have a chance. You have a chance to get guys early, and you see it projected, and you have to get them early when their agents are like, "Oh, we'll take pretty much whatever." Get them early, but once they outperform their contracts, and then the rest of the league is like, "Oh, we got to get this guy." Some guys should be going back to the table a little early, but I'm looking at 4 and 5 year deals, which most of them are. They should have an opportunity to go back to the table early, but don't just give it to them.
Right.
Don't just give it to them, bro. And that's and Tyreek got a great deal when he got here, and then we redo it again. I think that's more for the guaranteed money. Ramsey had a great deal, and we redo it. Waddle should have gotten his money. I like Waddle's deal. I mean, Waddle deserved that, and Waddle earned it. Now I hope Waddle really takes over the 1A position, and maybe Tyreek goes to 1B, because if Waddle's a guy that when I heard what Waddle said to Tyreek, in the at the Jets game, like, Reek, are you done? You know what I mean? Waddle wasn't done, man. He didn't quit on the team.
No.
And that's the kind of guys you want leading that room. You want guys like that leading all the rooms in that facility. And
I agree with that, OJ. Like, I'm gonna put this out there, but I talk to his mom all the time, and when that whole ordeal with Tyreek came up, I'll be blunt, I straight up told her, let him go. Jalen has what it takes to step into the 1 spot. He could be anyone's number 1 on any team, in my opinion. People could say, "Oh, he gets hurt. Okay, he gets hurt, but every single year he's put up over 1,000, except for this. Like this year's injury was a fluke injury. Right. That man still wanted to go out and play just to chase 1,000 yards. And I think with Tyreek not on the field, I think, in my opinion, it opens up more for, the Jonus, the Jalen's. So that's my opinion. Like, Jalen could be a number 1, and all that's going to do is open up the field more to these other guys, because I think Tua keys in on Tyreek, in my opinion.
Well, man, he's always going to be primary. Seem like most. Let's go back to Jalen. I love Jalen. I've already told you that. Availability is the best ability. Of course, we always talk about something like that. But you said something that was very interesting. That he wanted to go back out there to chase 1,000. That's not the reason you go back out there, bro.
No, it's not.
That's not the reason to go back out there. You go back out there to help your team win any way you can. I think with Tyreek being under 2,000 this year kind of put a damper on his mood. You can't chase numbers, man. You got to try to chase what's best for the football team. And of course, these guys have had great seasons. 1,000 plus each for the last couple of years, and other than this year right here. And so that becomes part of the problem, Sticky.
Yep.
That becomes part of the problem. Chasing numbers awards instead of chasing. Exactly right.
And one of the things that made me like Waddle was the fact that I'll never forget. This was his rookie year. They lost the game, but he got the reception, the record for reception. So one of the reporters went up to him and said, "Hey, how do you feel about breaking the rookie reception?" He goes, "We lost, so it's a moot point."
Correct.
Right.
Like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be, no matter what, man. Danny broke a lot of records, man. I think a lot of record games that we have with Danny
We're
we might have
losses.
put some L's in those, you know what I mean, or milestones or whatever. So, and Danny was the same way. Like, hell, yeah, I might have passed whoever, but we lost the damn game, and that's the way it's supposed to be, bro.
Hey, Ultimate Duffy, I have I did this stat, right? And it's a crazy stat. 3 quarterbacks broke touchdown record. Marino, 48, Tom Brady, 50, and Peyton Manning, 55. All of them lost the Super Bowl that year.
Oh, wow. That's a crazy stat. Well, they got to the Super Bowl, though. I'll take the
What's a Super Bowl?
No, I'm going to tell you, man. It was so crazy on this last little Penn State run that, going to all the games, I love the new college format with that. Kind of like the pro game is, man. The 12 teams in, and then you go on this roller coaster ride, Penn State playing SMU at home, then going to Fiesta Bowl and playing Boise, and then Notre Dame down here in Miami. Bro, it's like that is like the pro game, like the run that you're going for a Super Bowl that's leading into the national championship games now, man. And I think it's like just like the pro game, the hot teams are the ones that you don't have to be number 1 or 2 in the country anymore to be hot. Just like the Giants got hot when they beat New England when New England was undefeated twice. You know what I mean? Like, I got you, Johnny O. And I was like, that's how it's supposed to be. It's not about what the polls say. Sometimes you play, but you got to go through a gauntlet and beat some teams to get there. That's how championships should be decided. Remember back the president decided who was a national championship way back in the day. What I mean? That's why forces teams, they have so many championships, because the president be like, yo, all right, Army, whatever it might have been. Now you got to run through this gauntlet. And I love that. It's kind of the same way you do to get to the Super Bowl. So, like with today's games, the hot teams, they're all hot right now. So we'll see who's hotter, by the end of the day. It's going to be nice.
OJ, 2 questions for you. One, how upset were you that Ohio State won the national championship?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, here's how we roll, man. Being from Ohio, that wasn't a problem for me. 2, once the Big Ten season's over, it's about bowl season. It's all about Big Ten teams. I'm rooting for all Big Ten teams at that point, man. So it was important for Ohio State to win it all for us. It's important for us to get 2 teams in the Final Four, for the conference, because we all know there's an SEC bias.
Absolutely.
SEC bias, and so I like for them to bring the SEC teams in. They brought 3 or 4 teams into the playoffs, and at the end of the day they lost, and so it's important. So I was extremely happy for Ohio State, and for me, look. I went to Penn State, of course. Notre Dame was my 2nd team, and Ohio State was my 3rd team. So all my teams are in the mix in the Final Four. So it worked out pretty good for me, bro.
All right. My other question is, when you were a younger guy in the league and you saw the older guys in the locker room that were the leaders, if something went wrong, how hard was it for you to step up and say something, being one of the younger guys?
Yeah, it's a great question, Johnny. I'm gonna tell you this. I kept my mouth shut, but a lot of things we had great leadership. We had such great leadership in our locker room from the guys like, Urban Fryer. We got Urban Fryer from the New England Patriots, man. He was a whole different guy. He was an amazing guy in the locker room. Marino was a great leader. Brian Cox on the defensive side of the football was incredible. Louis Oliver and those guys, they were great leaders. So most of the time, man, if it went wrong, we had older veteran guys that had been around that handled things, but hell, Shula ran such a great locker room. He had the great leaders in there that it wasn't that big a deal. Jimmy ran a great locker room. He had great leaders in there, so it wasn't that big a deal. So, guys handled things themselves in the locker room, held themselves accountable. They were always playing for the man next to them. It's a cliche, but it's the truth. If guys were late or sleeping or whatever, other players let them know about it, man. And that's how it has to be. But like I said, but when your top guys are doing it, the low guys, low hanging fruit like myself, it was hard for me to say anything until I got to that point. Now,
how long did it take you to get to that point? Year 3, year 4?
Yeah. So once I was starting, and then eventually became captain, that's when it became, my team as well. So You know, 93, 94, young in the game, 95, still kind of young in the game, but 96, 97, that's when the Zacks and the JTs when them were coming in. That's when that pretty much was my team. So about 3 years in, once guys leave, like Irvin Fryer left, Keith Jackson left, you know, once those guys leave, offensively became me and Marino's team, you know, so that's how, you know, over time is how it works out.
Okay, we only have a few minutes left. We appreciate all your time you've given us today, OJ.
Definitely.
Sure.
When do you have your next bowling thing coming up?
We do not have one schedule. We usually do it in February, but we've taken a little hiatus on doing things like that. We've been supporting other charities. Next thing I'm doing is I'm trying to ride these 13 miles, man. I did 99 last year. I'm doing 13 miles in the DCC because I have ACL surgery coming up right after that. But I'm gonna still get some miles in, man. So we gotta beat this. We gotta beat cancer's ass, man. That's the only reason I got.
Amen to that. Yes.
Just get an electric bike. I'm not going to name who, but you know who has those out
Well,
there.
I've got a pedal assist bike here, man, that I might go out there with, but I won't be pedaling assisting a lot. Just only when I need it. Against the wind, that's it, Sticky. That's it. Against the wind.
Well, this will be my first year doing a 13-mile bike ride.
Nice. So which mile per hour are you in, Paul? We might be running together.
Oh, I'll be in the back.
Well, I mean, you already registered, right? So you're in the 15 to 18?
Yeah.
Okay. Just chilling, man. You got yourself a speaker? Got some good music, man. Just a stroll, man. It's like we always say this: it's a ride, not a race. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Go out there and enjoy it, man, and doing it for the cause, bro. It's a ride, not a race. So I'm excited about it.
Well, you guys have a good time at the DCC. I can't make it down this year, so I've been at the last four. I won't be at this one.
Yeah.
All right, what about the Wiffle Blast? When's the Wiffle Blast happening?
That was yesterday. We lost in the semifinals.
Damn.
You're a day late, dollar short on that one, Shake.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Yeah, my boss, he plays Dave the chiropractor. He does he plays for them. They won 2 championships before, so
yeah, I think they won again. I think they won yesterday too. That was yeah, they you know what, man? Look, we'll be back next year. I guarantee we coming home with some hardware. Next time we do this, we'll do it after Wiffle Blast, and I'm gonna have my trophy sitting right here again. Because,
okay.
Our team is dope. Our team is dope.
Ben Sticky, before we leave, how about you tell us about the yacht? Ricky,
y'all can just, if y'all interested, reach out. I posted about it. Like I said, we've got DJ Lil Bear and DJ Nasty coming on to DJ. I have a special guest I'm working on to get flown out to the flown out to the yacht on top of Ricky. But you know, it's gonna be. We've got Cam from East 32. I reached out to be my caterer. We've got about right now. We got about $7,000 in raffle prizes that we're giving away. You know, grand prize is $1,000. You know, I just signed a deal to be sponsored by Booking.com, so we're doing a nice little few $100 Booking.com gift card, tons of apparel.
Yeah.
You know, the guy Marcus Souls by Sir that does all the players' cleats and does my shoes is doing 2 different 1-of-1 football helmets, Ricky themed. So got tons of stuff, tons of fun prizes. There's about 15 spots left on it, so it's going to be, you know, it's a fun time for everybody to get together, you know, and you can go out there and not just do one of those autograph signing events to where you go in, just get an item signed. You actually get to hang out on the boat. Last time Ricky was the DJ, so he sat behind the DJ booth and DJ'd the whole time, you know, so it's a fun event. And, you know, you're in Miami on the water for 4+ hours.
The question is how he do, man. What kind of music was he playing, bro? I don't care.
Man, he played everything. Rick even threw some country up there.
All right.
You
That's
know,
talented.
he likes
reading the room. He's good at reading the room, huh?
Dude,
all right.
You know, it was a vibe. We all know how Ricky is. So the event, I will say, in Cali was a little different than it will be in Florida. It's, you know, it's not legal in Florida yet, but
For some it is.
For some it is, but I will say we probably had about, Ricky brought about a pound of his product on the boat to give away, but
Okay.
definitely not doing that in Florida. Last thing I want to do is be on the Sun Sentinel, super fan gets Ricky Williams arrested by the Coast Guard.
With that being said, we got to call it a show. We really
Hey, I
appreciate each
appreciate
and
y'all
every one of
having me.
y'all.
Thanks for coming on, man.
You got it, man.
OJ,
You got it, bro.
both you guys, you're more than welcome to join us anytime.
I'm
Y'all
gonna
have
pop
a
in.
wonderful
I'm gonna
day.
pop in and
Peace,
mess
love,
with y'all every once in a while, man. See what's going on. You guys are doing it up, man. I love it, man. 3 times a week, man. That's big time stuff, bro. And I
Appreciate
guys
you,
having me on.
OJ.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you,
having you on, OJ Sticky. Good to see you, brother.
You
Take
too,
it easy,
bro.
brother. Peace, love, fins
fellas.
up.
All right,
Fins
love
up.
y'all.
What's up, fellas?